everybody, and open our evening gala, our celebration on behalf of Super Memo World. We are celebrating a great success of our film, which got the #1 prize on the International Film and Video Festival in Los Angeles. Our special guest is Lee W. Brookman, is sitting here in the first row. Please applause. I also have the pleasure to welcome Mr. Mike Saraswat, who's sitting also in the first row. He's a producer of Olive Green and owner of Ecstasy, the production company who produced it. We have also Mr. Suki Sik, who is the film director, who directed. We also have in the last row Mr. Wojciech Wojtasiak, the scriptwriter. And his wife, Mrs. Magdalena Warszawa-Wojtasiak, who is the co-author of the English course, which is combined with the film. We also have Mr. Andrzej Nadolski, who is the CEO of the PWN Publishing Group. Mr. Jerzy Majewski, who is the CEO of Azimut, one of the companies in the PWN Group. Mr. Marcelo de Orgiew, who is the shareholder in Super Memo World. Mrs. Eva Kotus, who is the president of the Film, Art and Tourism Festival. I also have a pleasure to welcome the journalists sitting somewhere in some rows. Yeah, and last but not least, all the employees of Super Memo, including Mr. Krzysztof Biedalak, the CEO, and the initiator of the Olive Green project. We'll talk about it a bit later. Okay, so it's time to start the ceremony. Lee, the floor is yours.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here. This is one of these occasions where I get to be with the people that really worked on the film. What happens, in case you're curious, with most festivals these days is that one person gets to come as a representative from the producer. Rarely do you get a producer and a director. Do you get the management? Do you get the partners, let alone the writer? Because there's nothing until there's a writer that's involved. And so this way, everybody gets to share in the excitement. And that, to me, is very exciting. So where we have our Grand Prix winners, I come to them with the awards, because it's very hard to give a party in Los Angeles and know who's going to come these days. As interesting a city as LA is. What I want to do very quickly is just to position the festival for those of you that may have heard of it but don't know what it is. So we're founded in 1967. We're the oldest independent festival of its kind in the world, which incorporates these different kinds of production elements. So we have business, television, documentary, education, entertainment, industrial is the old word for corporate, informational, and student films. We have entries in 100 plus subject categories. So within each of the particular production types, you have many different places to enter. And the judging is done internationally. The old system of bringing everybody into one room and you sit there for hours over a weekend until you can't see straight anymore. We find it's much more interesting in an international competition for the judges to be all over the world. So there are judges here in Poland, there are judges in Japan, in the United States, in Germany, in Australia, and they all have input. So I am the messenger. I get the fun. I don't judge the films. So only if somebody calls me up and says, what should we do? There seems to be a tie everywhere. I'll take a look at the film, and then we put a blue ribbon group of people that have been producing films for years to take a look at them. And the question was asked yesterday, that's a very good question. How do you decide the Grand Prix winners? And it's a very good question. There's an organization called the International Quorum of Motion Picture Producers. It's coming up to its 50th anniversary next year. It's made up of owners of companies that are probably the top film companies, some of the top film companies in the world. I'm not talking about Warner Brothers, people like that. It's companies like Mike's. It's companies in South Africa, in the Middle East. There are companies throughout the United States, in Far East. And they sit as a committee with the top winners, and they make a decision around the world for those films that should become a Grand Prix winner. So again, it's not Lee that makes the decision. I get the fun. So these are the awards that can be won. There's the first place Gold Camera Award, the second place Silver Screen, a certificate of creativity. It's a third place. We have the Best of Festival. The One World Award is a very unique thing, sponsored by this same organization, the International Quorum of Motion Picture Producers. It's about films that help develop international cooperation. And they often come from large associations or from broadcasters that have the wherewithal to do stories like that. And finally, the entry deadline usually opens in December each year, and the entry deadline is in March every year, give or take some things. You can go online, you can see all about your films are there, and all the other winners. So that's basically what that's about. So what I want to do, and the way an evening evolves if we're having an award ceremony in LA, is we start off with the presentation of the first place winner. Because remember, just like a film, an award ceremony has to come to a climax, and that's when you find out who won the Grand Prix, and that's at the end of the evening. So we're shortening this whole experience up here. So let's start off by presenting you with the first place award for Olive Reed in the entertainment, action, adventure category. So who all is coming up, or is it everybody? You have 30 people. You can
everybody gets
You decide.
I'll take the credit.
All right.
I don't know how we managed to keep us all closed for 2 weeks or so.
But it's not easy. I wouldn't let them open up the boxes if they're shipped yet. So they haven't seen them yet. So there you go. Now get a photo with him. Now, what? No, you don't have to go off camera.
Somebody's coming up.
No, so, the fact is that you find out that you were nominated. This is very Hollywood. That you're nominated for a Grand Prix award. So during the course of the evening, you would also receive the certificate, which is being nominated for a Grand Prix.
Thank you.
Because you're not going to know.
Ah, so that's the sequence. Now we
That's
are nominated.
working your way up.
It goes fast.
Yeah, it could be taken away.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations. What I'd like to do, I'm going to sort of share this up here, because without the production company, and they selected a fantastic production company, this with due respect to the writer. As Steven Spielberg says, nothing begins without a story, right?
Absolutely right.
Okay. So that man, to people like me who have been a producer like them, and to you, is the secret to everything. Because if he can't understand what we as producers want, none of this would happen, truly. So, you know, I want to give you another round of applause. So we're going to jump ahead. Oh, no. Too soon. Mike.
Yes, sir.
You still own this company, right? Well, come on down. Mike was actually the outstanding work that makes this production sensational.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. All right. Oh, go on to
Hold it.
stand. Yeah.
Wait.
So, and by the way, Suki, for any of you that have ever tried directing a production, I want to tell you it is a thankless job. Having done it for 50 years myself.
That did thank me.
Huh? I mean, what you created was sensational, really. And the judges responded to that, they responded to the content. The whole thing became a beautiful package. And I think that's great. So what we're going to do now, we're going to pretend we're jumping to the end of the evening. You're sitting back there, chewing on your fingers saying, did we win or did we not? You know, what does it mean? So what we have to do, oh, he's leaving so soon? There's more.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care anymore?
He's got his pride. I'm ready for the news.
Well, all right. In this funky little bag is a small.
It's double secret.
Yeah. Are you in there? No. So in here is your Grand Prix. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What I think is interesting, because I've seen a lot of films over the years, more than I ever wanted to see. And some that I probably shouldn't have seen. That sounds funny too. But what you have created in the framework of your business to improve education and language studies, I think is really being, way out of the curve, ahead of the curve. And as I said to him earlier this evening, I hope one of the competitions, because Rosetta Stone is a name that we know so much in the States, that, they're going to go by the wayside, and the whole, concept that you've created becomes the way to go, because I think it's sensational.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I think it's very
So, you contributed to this whole thing.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Did you do the casting?
Well, let's try to, yes.
That's
We're wrong, but yeah.
Let Suki participate in the casting?
Yeah, we were fighting the cats and
No, I
dogs.
see. Well, calm down, because you've got the Grand Prix too.
Did we get Suki involved?
Yes!
Did we get Alicia involved?
We can get everybody involved.
Come on. Why, Shane, can we get you involved, buddy?
Not on this picture.
Okay. All right, there you go.
These guys did so
What
much
are you
work.
laughing at? She's laughing.
Yeah.
I'm teaching her how to pick it on a wall.
Yeah. Wait, give it a you guys did the work, so you don't need meetings. You look so serious.
That's the
Smile for
always
the camera, Suki. Come on. You think he lets the actors get away with that? It's my look.
Alicia, can we get you involved, please? Why, Jake? The right is the greatest racer, yes.
The guilty part.
Yeah. Let's get that one.
It's not valid anymore. It's for nominations.
Yeah, that's it. Hello. There you go, you hold on. Hello, finally. Finally, it's a move. Thank you. There you go. Oh, there's more. There's more. Just keep bringing it. Anyone got a hand bag? Smart.
Seriously?
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ooh.
What I'd like to do, and these are the main product groups, if you will, production types. And this is going to be based on your tolerance for looking at other things. But I think what's important here is for you to realize you already know what you've won for. We'll come back to that. But I think you should see who you beat. And these are two very significant productions and production companies. One from Japan and one from Auckland, New Zealand. So I'd like to show you these. If we can turn there's a wall switch back there. I think it's one of the top two, or both of them. I'd like to run these just so you can appreciate what you had to pass. It's a very touching piece. A relationship develops between the young salesman that was at the house with this young girl. He doesn't realize she's blind until about 20 minutes talking with her on the platform. And he becomes her husband eventually. Japanese do very lyrical sorts of things. This is a very different kind of piece from what the Cricket World Cup.
Hi, I'm Simon Hill. As a former New Zealand cricketer and now commentator, I've been lucky enough to travel the globe and stay in some of the world's most iconic cities. I know exactly what it takes to make a great one, and I can tell you, Auckland is right up there with the best one. And if you're going to Auckland for the ICC Cricket World Cup 2015, make sure you make the most of your time. There's so much to do here. Whatever you're into, Auckland has got it going on. From stunning beaches, world-class restaurants, international art galleries, wineries, volcanoes, and even a subtropical rainforest. It's all here, it's all at easy reach. Come on, let's go take a look. With so much travel over the last 25 years, I've come to realise that the best way to experience a country's culture is to embrace their food. For a large, diverse population, Auckland has the greatest range of restaurants in New Zealand. The city is packed full of incredible international cuisine, from the hip and trendy bread mart to the new developments on the North Fork and the buzzing Federal Street. There are restaurants all over Auckland offering a whole range of amazing tastes and culinary experiences. Auckland's warm climate needs to become a home for some of the best vineyards in New Zealand. There are 3 wine regions here today on the gorgeous Mount Carr, all this is 1 hour drive north Auckland. There's also the West Kiwi, which is Auckland's oldest wine region, or someone on a ferry to go away the island in Antarctica. The short trip across the harbour can take you over to experience this incredible jewel in Auckland's crown. The island's perfect for grapes, and the vineyards all offer tasting sessions as well as some of the best restaurants in Auckland. And the food trail doesn't stop there. Auckland's unique blend of rural lifestyle and urban class also make it a perfect location for those who like to explore food markets. There are plenty to choose from all over the region. For something a bit different, join the locals for food from all corners of the globe at the night markets. They're full of life and colour and will leave your senses tingling. If, however, you're like me and prefer your refreshments to come to you, don't worry. Auckland has a wide range of bars and stunning locations, like this one here, downtown on the North Fork, where you can try a range of craft beers from Auckland and all over New Zealand. Cheers.
Now, since we're into food, I think getting you ready, we can go through more of these if you want to, but I know there's food downstairs and there are other comments that have to be made. But I want you to see the winner of the corporate film for Ukai. I don't know if they have a restaurant here in Poland yet. They have them scattered around the world. If this doesn't make you hungry, I don't know what will. It's really a rather stunning piece. You notice there's no narration. You get the whole message. And the thing that we thought was particularly interesting is that the Japanese are very nationalistic about who works for them, who works on the projects. They hired a company from Taiwan, from Taipei, to produce this film. And everybody is still trying to figure out why. But if that company can create that kind of food photography, which these two gentlemen can appreciate more than most, it is a technique and a specialty unto itself. So I'm not going to continue through the rest of them because we have a long evening to go. And I think, Christoph, you're up next, are you not?
Won't we see on the green?
Oh, we didn't show you that piece. Oh, I'm sorry. That was silly, wasn't it? Oh, sorry. No. All right. I have to do that. What was I thinking? Thanks.
What's the job?
Is also a bitter disappointment. This is moment for caution. Still feel good now. Can you feel not feel the colors? What special friendship is? My husband is interested in you. Explodes confidential business data according to the final data. Working as a state.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lee. I must say it's extremely satisfying to learn that it's not us, it's not me who's crazy about this project. It's great to hear that other people appreciate it, and especially people from the film industry. So it's a great honor and a compliment for us. And thank you for the awards. I think it's time to thank everybody involved in this project. And I did a quick calculation, and I didn't come up with the exact figure, but I think this was well over 100 people altogether. So obviously I will not be able to quote everybody here, or even 20%, but I will try to mention just a few key people. And I'm happy that some of them are here with us tonight. So it's great and a pleasure again. So to start with, I think it started when we decided to have our new generation of English learning course equipped with something special. And we decided that this something special might be something like maybe an interactive feature film online. So, well, this led us to the discovery that we need a script and a script writer. So we started looking for one, and I must say it was one of the more challenging parts of the whole project. And I'm happy we didn't resign at this stage. We did several trials. I remember I personally spoke to my colleague who is an experienced English teacher. He's a creative author himself and a publisher. And I described the project to him and talked about my expectations, and he said, "No, it's impossible. It's just impossible." And luckily, Wojtek didn't know that, and he provided us with a proposition of a great story. And later he proved that this great story can be written with a language and dialogues that are really up to our expectations, in the sense of being entirely lined up to the learning syllabus of the course we designed. So congratulations to you, Wojtek. You did something impossible, and you started the whole thing running. So more or less at the same time, we realized we need another piece of the puzzle. I mean, well, if you want to do something about the film, it would be good to know something, or at least to know people who know something about professional film production. So, we approached 10 or so production companies, and we were lucky to be approached ourselves by one guy. I remember 2 years before actually we started filming Olive Green, a team of Super Memo was at the London language show, I think it was that, in London. And there a guy appeared, and he proposed some corporate video services. And well, a few months later, we were in London again, and I decided to meet him. And I remember our talk. We started discussing from the idea of usual education, green screen-like production, the boring stuff. But we quickly changed the subject and started talking about films, and we thought how great it would be to have a full feature film as something accompanying our production, our course. And at that time it was kind of science fiction for me, but step by step we discussed it, and 1 year later we decided to have this production together. So one of many advantages of Mike, one of them was that he promised he will bring Suki into the project. And bringing Suki meant that we are going to have a professional film editor, film director. I didn't quite know back then what it meant, but I knew it was important. So now I know. Now I think more or less. And I really appreciate Suki, the way you were able to shape the performance of all the actors, and all the care you put to the setting of the scenes. So thank you very much for that. You and all the actors, maybe some of them are watching us now, I hope. You really put life into our Olive Green characters. Speaking of actors, I think they would not think, entering our project, that they would be expected a couple of things. Like, for example, number one, speaking their lines exactly without missing or changing a word, no matter what. Or second, what was the second? Oh, I don't know. Sticking to the extra good pronunciation, especially for the first scenes of the film, which are combined with the basic level of the course, of course. So, and they did it perfectly, and thanks again for all this. Special thanks to all the crew, which you managed to gather, magnificent people. We were very happy to be received by them on the filming set. We got all the introduction we needed. We could air our remarks, and I think it was the only way this kind of project, actually merging two worlds of film and of education, could be accomplished and successful. So then I should also mention very important input of people who did the post-production, the editing, the sound effects, the original music that we got to our production. What Laszlo did with the trailer we saw here a few minutes ago was incredible. So thanks to all the team here as well. And finally, thanks to the people in Super Memo World who put all those loose pieces together and made a final product out of this in a matter of several months. In particular, the girls from the editorial department who cooperated with all the authors of the course outside, and they did the editing and authoring themselves. The IT guys who produced all the apps, services, clouds, whatever necessary. Guys from other departments, administrational, accounting, business units, other projects, whatever. Thanks to you, we had the clear minds and we could work on a new, innovative project. And speaking of the company, I have to mention one name, a person who did all kinds of jobs in this project, from being an author and editor, from being a prompter, up to being the project manager of the whole enterprise, and that's, of course, Alicia. So, thank you very much, Alicia. This project wouldn't be the same without you. So that's it. And I think when I look back at it now, I think it's really incredible that we have succeeded in gathering all those people from different areas and gathering all this competence, and it's really close to impossible. So my colleague was right in a sense. So my little optimistic thought from all this for tonight is that if you really like your job and you want to achieve it, and you are determined about achieving something, then sometimes all the luck and coincidence and power is with you. So may the power be with us for the sequel of Olive Green and other Super Memo projects. Thank you.
I think Mike would like to add something to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks guys. Thanks for having us here. Firstly, thanks for this great audience, and that's so lovely there. But I just wanted to sort of praise a couple of things and talk about the project. We know about the nitty-gritty of the project, and we all have been quite closely involved with it. But is the fearlessness, and I would like to talk about the fearlessness and the innovation side of two things. So I think a lot of people were fearless, foolishly, to do something like this. And sometimes you need that kind of fearless courage to be able to cross certain boundaries that we feel, oh, we haven't done this, should we try it out? And there's a lot of money, reputation on the line. So I'd like to sort of thank Christoph and Marisha in person to being absolutely fierce. And this is brilliant. You know, I sell films for a living, and this is what I do. And it is an extremely difficult job for any corporation to undertake financially to justify. It was a beautiful opportunity for us. Yes, we have some very big names that we work with, but they have a very sustainable product stream that you can plug films into. But coming up with a whole new stream of revenue, creating a product from scratch, and being innovative and absolutely fearless, and just saying when they push the button on it, they never look back. So thank you both so much for that. It is, and to the whole team, just stood by, and multiple conversations I've had with Wojciech on getting it down to the 114 pages, but then 90 pages. But yeah, so it was absolutely marvelous. And all the other people from a crew point of view, I'd like to personally thank, including Suki, of course, for giving me the courage to pitch to larger clients with his experience of over 300 commercials in the UK. So it was a major trust factor there for Suki to come on board. So really thank you for that. My other colleagues who couldn't make it, very important, sort of Matthew and Laura, who literally sort of drove machinery for me and literally replaced me at places I couldn't be. So yeah, so thank you for doing that. But other than that, I would just say, you know, each step at a time, as we have done so far. So here's to all the success that the project will get, and hopefully, you know, to more. So thank you so much, and hope you all have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Okay, that's it for the official part. So now I'd like to invite you to the dinner downstairs, the patio. So have a nice evening.
Thank you.